kind of people who are working on the margins of tech, and I'm not talking about in kind of the UK or the US or these things that we're used to, but actually these guys come from Kenya and they're working on really interesting projects. Just a little bit about CodeOp. I mean, maybe some of you are students, so you know, but CodeOp is an international tech school. We do courses in full stack development and also product management and data analytics. Yeah, I mean, we've been around since 2018, and this SubVersions event, like I said, is just kind of an expansion of our community and wanting to get people in touch with tech things that you don't usually hear about that are actually kind of changing the way we live in profound ways, but aren't talked about as much in the media. Just some admin stuff. Please feel free to write any comments or ask any questions in the side, in the chat. There's going to be time for questions at the end. However, if there's anything that you want to flag up, something you hear that's interesting, please comment if you want to. This is being recorded onto YouTube Live. Don't worry, we don't have like 10 million people watching us, but it is being recorded. If you would like to show your face, please do, as we all have. However, you don't have to if you don't want to. So we'd love to see your faces. However, I understand that sometimes you don't want to do that on a Zoom call, so no problem. So without further ado, I'm actually just going to go straight to everyone on the call and ask them, I don't know which order you want to start in. On my camera, Sandra is first. So I'm going to start with Sandra and ask you to introduce yourself and also your project.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Sandra Mary Ann, the founder of Anisan. So Anisan is a short form of Animal and Sandra. I came up with this idea when I was in Form 3. That was in 2017. So it's because we have a challenge with the elephants who have been brought up and born. So, and there are no effective ways that have been working. So they've tried using the beehives, the chilies, and all that, and plus the electric fences, but it hasn't been effective of late. So I decided to come up with a gadget known as Ndovukia. It contains a motion mover detector, a siren, and a LED light. So immediately the motion mover detector detects the elephant. The LED light will light to indicate its presence. Then the siren will produce a disturbing sound. And the community plus the KWS will receive an SMS notification about what's happening there. So I was trying to solve the challenge of human-wildlife conflict.
Adira, you're on mute.
Yeah, I just realized that. Tech school and I'm on mute. Okay, so thank you so much, Sandra. We're going to come back to this obviously as we go on. Okay. Now I'm going to ask if Happiness will present her project.
Thank you very much. My name is Happiness Wanjiru. I'm the co-founder and financial leader of UTech Farms. At UTech Farms, we help farmers, most of those in arid and semi-arid areas, plant and harvest more with less water. So our product utilizes IoT technology to conduct several soil tests and then sends the soil status updates to the farmer either through an app or SMS for action. So we are also making PVC smart gardens that they are drought resistant and suitable for rooftop and balcony farming. Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
Thank you so much, Happiness. Okay, and now Gift.
Hi, hey everybody. My name is Gift. I'm a founder of Regime and also a tech skill company. I'm a full stack, but currently I'm doing front-end development in my company. That is Tech Skilled Limited. And Tech Skilled Limited is an agile tech company that offers simple, customized, and viable SaaS products and services implemented with a unique out-of-art cloud technology, with also compelling experience that we have. I've been doing this since 2014, developing different solutions from school management systems, from normal website from the normal businesses, but also now we are moving more advanced to also making banking softwares. So that is currently what I'm doing, and yeah, that's what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gift. Okay, so before I'm actually going to put David on the spot, because before I delve into asking you guys questions, I want to ask David if he can present Sote Hub, because this is the connection. So David, would you be able to tell us a little bit about what Sote Hub does, where it kind of came from, the idea, and yeah, how you're connected to Sandra, Gift, and Happiness?
So, Jury, I was not prepared for this. So I don't have a nice background.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I mean, if you're on the call, me having read something for a few weeks is not as good as
okay,
you. So
I'll just present the without the camera. Yes. So
okay.
What we do in Sote Hub is we work with high school students, but also at the university. So we grow startups from young people like Sandra and Happiness and Gift, who are able to look at challenges in the communities they come from. And so our work basically is to mentor them, to train, to also connect them to available opportunities. Because in Kenya, in countries like Kenya, you find a lot of opportunities for business, employment, or innovation only occur in the capital cities. So what Sote Hub does is to decentralize and make these opportunities available for young people in rural areas like where we're operating in. So we've been operating for the last 5 years now. We've worked with about 100 schools and managed to train over 10,000 students. And the training component encompasses 3 things. So 1 is on ICT, and 2 is on business and startups, and 3 is on employability skills. And that in a way in which once they graduate from school, we are able to onboard them into the business incubator. And so far we've managed to incubate 40 startups, and all of them are in different stages. So the 3 of them among the 40, of course, are the ones that are presenting here. Yeah, so that's briefly what Sote Hub does. And our wish, I mean, the biggest challenge I think we have in countries like Kenya is high population growth and lack of adequate opportunities. But we see these challenges and problems as opportunities for young people to turn them into business ideas, and that they're able to change not only to get income and employ others, but they can also change society. So that's the gap that as Sote Hub we play. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, David. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but that was always going to be so much better than anything that I could say. So thank you for that. Okay, so I'm actually going to go back to Sandra now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a super innovative idea, and like you said, to come up with this after people have tried so many things, and like you said, different ways of trying to have an alert system. How did you it's a difficult question. How did you, I mean, is this an issue that was affecting you kind of personally? And how did you kind of come to the idea that this was going to be a better system than anything that has been tried before?
Okay, it has been affecting me personally because the community where I come from, we've been facing the challenge of the elephants from time to time. Even where I schooled, we've been facing the challenge with the elephants from time to time too. So coming up with it was kind of hectic because I had to Google, I had to research, I had to seek advice from my mentors, need more coaching from Sote Hub too, because I never thought if I could be that genius, of course. And then, so it all started with me researching. And then I thought, because the elephants are known to be afraid of light and sound, so I decided to include the sensors too. And I'm still adjusting. Yes.
Okay, now question 4, happiness. And I'm going to go in between asking everyone because I have lots of questions for all of you. Happiness, in terms of
Yes.
your, yeah, you can hear me, okay. In terms of your idea, looking at what's happening, I mean, again, I mean, this is the same thing. If this is something that is personal for you, and is it something that you've noticed any difference in? Is it something that is actually more and more difficult for farmers due to, if we talk about climate change, is the situation changing? And so this is something that's really needed now going forward?
Oh yes. So where I learn, it's located in a semi-arid place. Title is in a semi-arid place. So most parents in our school are farmers. They practice farm. So students are forced to stay home and do farming and work, so they aren't able to go to school. So with this kit, it will help those parents plant and harvest more with less water. They'll be able to feed their children, and they will be able to pay for their school fees. Another thing, it's part of the Big Four agenda for food insecurity here in Kenya. We are solving food insecurity, and with this, it's also able to bring women into technology, because here in Africa, women are not into technology. They think that technology is only for men, not for women. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and when you kind of came up with this idea and actually you created these kits, was there any issue with people not wanting to use them or mistrusting them, or was everyone quite happy to try and see how it could work for them?
First they didn't take it seriously, because here in Africa, technology is not farmers have not learned, they've not go to schools, most of them. So when you bring them that kit, they'll be like, huh, what is this? I don't know. So when we explained to them and taught them what it does, the benefit of it, so they began to like it, and they are really happy to have it.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, Gift for you. So
Yes.
my question is, I mean, so we're talking about being in more rural areas, and what I find interesting is you have a creative agency. So you're doing things around videography and web graphics. What is the kind of implication for what you're doing, which is something that's so, innovative in terms of talking about design and creativity? How are you working with that in engaging people in more rural areas and what you're doing?
Thank you very much for the question. First, the reason behind our idea or our startup was we found that there's so many small businesses, because it's a rural area. They are still young, but they also want to penetrate to the market, and in any business, aspect of marketing is one of the important pillars in any company to grow. So we thought that it's good also to venture into that field, so that we can support some of the startups, for example, working with hubs and connect with the startups, so that we can do, for example, design for their products, do also take good photos for their products and all that. So that is the main reason that made us to start up a company for an agency. I mean, that is for design and also photography, but also in terms of the wider market. Since it's at rural areas, people would like also to do, for example, they would like to have a coverage in terms of their weddings or events. So that was a big gap, since there are no so many photographers outside there who can do good photos. So we saw that is an opportunity for us. So we normally do photography for different events. That is from weddings, for example, outside events, internal events, in-house, events and all that. But our major focus was more on to creative design. That is, do good branding for companies, from visual to also audio. That is from visual to audio. That is having good website, good videos, and also have, for example, adverts which can market their business. So. Of course, there are some challenges as you start, because you're a startup, so you need to you don't have a bigger markets, and also you're finding a way so that people can also notice you, and so that they can work with you, and also try to remove also the traditional way of how people used to handle things. So, but as we have moved on, we have seen a bigger response from our customers, from the people around. They're adapting to the new technology. They're adapting to the new ways of marketing and doing marketing, and also brand their companies. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, just to follow up on what you're saying, with companies getting more involved and expanding, in terms of when you work with them creatively, is it a challenge, or is it something easy? So for example, if you are trying to design something for them about their product and better branding, is it that you speak to them and you go off and you do the designs just based on what you think, or are they very actively involved and have ideas around what they want?
They normally, what we normally do, for example, when we are handling our clients, or we are doing project for them, some of them, of course, you might have some other clients who have some problems in terms of responding, but we have come up with a strategy or a good process whereby we try to work with them from the start, like ask them, do, for example, a questionnaire and ask them what exactly they want in that project, what exactly they want, so they can write down what exactly they want. Then we go through them, through through what they want, and we try to advise, this is what you can do better than what you're thinking. But in terms of response, or in terms of working with them, it has not been that hard as per se, but of course we might not find, we will not of course miss some of the clients who are slow to respond.
Okay, so I'm looking in the chat and I can see that there is a question for Sandra. So I'm going to ask you this question. It's from Rohit,
Yes.
who says, "Hi all, great initiatives. Congratulations to everyone." I agree. So his question is, have you tried the solution in the field? And if yes, so if you've tried it actively, and if yes, what is the feedback? If you haven't tried it, what is left to do before you can actually try it in the field?
Okay, so we are in our second piloting. So it has been slow because by the time we were in our first piloting, I was still in school. So I couldn't handle two things. First of it, while I was in Form 4, so I had to finish my studies first. Then it has also been slow because by the time we got expertise who could help us out, it was also a challenge. But thanks to Sote Hub, we got some from there. So, and also the funding where we could get the gadgets, because we needed the real gadgets that could be used, like the sensors. So we needed such like, so it was a challenge. So we're in our second piloting at the moment. The data is almost.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
sorry.
you.
Hello?
Oh, Rohit, is that you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, no problem.
I have a bunch of questions as well, and I think if I start typing them out, it would just be. Is it okay to speak? Is it okay to interrupt?
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. Please do.
Yeah. So yeah, just to get an idea, Sandra, of what sort of components are you using? What sort of like what technology, like what different devices are you using which you want to club together and form this gadget? Just to get an idea.
Okay, we are using the sensors,
Yeah.
of course, the LED light.
Sorry, is
And
it motion sensor? What sort of sensors?
yes, the motion sensors, and then the LED light and the siren for the sound.
Okay. And
Yes.
you're working with some engineers or developers, or like how are you putting the product together? I'm only interested because I have a background in development and in software, and I have some mobile apps that are being used, and so this initiative I know some I know maybe potentially some people could be interested. So I just want to get an understanding before I could talk about this to someone else, perhaps.
Okay. So we got some expertise from Sote Hub. So they are the ones who have been helping us through. But our door is still open for any expertise, any more expertise, any partnerships. We are ready.
Okay. And
Yes.
do you have an idea of how much it would cost to make one of these kits? One of these things that I assume you put it on the, yeah. Well, how much would it cost to make one of these?
So once we are done with the second piloting, we'll have the full amount.
Okay.
We'll be sure about the amount.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thanks. And Happiness, I have something for you as well. I'm sorry. Uh, so this kit that you have for the farmers, is that something you take yourself to the site and then you conduct the tests and then you bring this kit back with you, or is it something you could potentially let the farmers keep so they can test the soil every year or every few years, or depending on the cycle of the crop that they're using? I didn't quite catch that, sorry if you mentioned it.
I get you. When they buy the kit or they want to test the kit, nani the farm status, the kit stays in the farm. You just don't come with it from home, then you bring and it stays in the farm and sends you SMS notification to your phone. Even if you're far away, maybe at work, it sends you status. You don't have to go to the farm and put this. This is the soil moisture sensor, the pH sensor. All the sensors and the kit stays in the farm.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And how much is it for one of these kits? Like roughly speaking, how much does it cost?
Um,
If I wanted
it
to buy
can
one.
cost like 50,000. Oh, it can cost like maybe 500, but you're not sure. You want to to remember the farmers, cause here they think that it's expensive. So you want to get a price that the farmers can able to buy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you. And what sensors do you have? You have the pH sensor. What else are you measuring in this kit?
Humidity, pH, moisture, and it also tells you the type of crop to plant in that particular soil and also the type of fertilizer to be used in that particular soil. So if you're not into farming, you're not educated, that kit will do everything for you. But about the digging, it's only but about telling you the plant to be planted and the fertilizer, the kit will do for you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a website, or is there some place I could access some of this information?
I think, I mean, I can answer from credit point of view. I know there are some videos and some articles that were shared with me. And after this, I think we can share some of these as well, so that you have a bit more information. And then from you guys' individual point of view, I don't know if you have anything else that you can share too. that depends. Like Sandra, Happiness, I don't know if you have a site or anything like that. But if not, we can share what David has shared with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can. You can, Jiro, you can share that out with Rohit. But just to follow up on the request Rohit had on Sandra, I think we have still opportunities for more support. Now, what we try to do is that we use the previous graduates of our program. Some of them ventured into programming, and I think they're all self-taught, never went to any school. But what we have seen is that they have managed to learn the art, and they're able to support the young people coming out. However, when now you look for industry, there is certain expertise that I think might still be always needed to get that product to the next level. And so I think we'll be very excited to work with you. I think after this call, yeah, fine, yeah.
Yeah. Just to add a little bit. So I also have my own startup, but I also have a full-time job. So I'm not able to focus a lot on my startup at this point in time. But my apps are being trialed in Ghana at the moment to help cashew farmers. What I will and there are like a couple of these initiatives, especially for I mean, all three initiatives are really good, like I said earlier, but the ones that I'm particularly quite interested in the ones with Happiness and Sandra. And so it's a case of also and I'm also sort of it's a case of seeing how this what's left to do, what we can do, and then you know, just seeing what comes out of it. Really, just having these initial discussions helps a lot. But they're really good products, all really good solutions.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rohit. Okay, so I just want to go back to some things that I've picked up from what you were saying. This is for Happiness. So, I mean, you're talking about, I can't talk in terms of how Rohit is talking, but I noticed that you were saying there's many things that the soil can do. Obviously, you're talking about pH, humidity, and all of these type of things. So at the beginning, you were saying that, I mean, it's going to be really helpful because rather than there's all this information that they can have, you don't have to pull kids out of school, hopefully, because you have all the data that you need, not to have so many hands on. But it actually kind of sounds like it's not only making the situation easier for people, but is actually making farming more efficient. Right. So you're actually talking about being able to measure things that it was more difficult to measure before. And possibly maybe people were planting a type of crop that in an area where it shouldn't be planted, or it wasn't the right time for it to be planted. So do you envision that this is actually going to help people farm more efficiently and more productively going into the future?
Yes, indeed, it will help those farmers. It helps as I said, it will help them in many ways. So even in regulating the amount of water, it minimizes the little water that you have, because in Kenya there is, like in these semi-arid places, there are not a lot of water, so the a little water you have, it will be minimized. So it will help farmers. They will plant more, they will have more yields, they'll be able to farm without stress, without thinking, I've left my farm, I don't know what am I going to do, I've not what are the plans. It will do all that for you. So it's easy if you have this kit.
And you are a team. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna ask something? Rohit?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just struggling to imagine what this product looks like, what this kit looks like, because if it's measuring something like moisture, and obviously, so it's, and depending on the size of the farm, so is it like one piece of equipment that sits somewhere, and or is it all over, like you draw quadrants in the farm, like how do you measure how do you measure all your inputs and the moisture continuously in using this kit? Can you describe what the kit looks like, please?
It's not something big. It depends on the size of the farm actually. If it's 1 acre, it would be like the size of a textbook, like a size of a textbook. But if
Like,
it's like 10 acres, yeah,
could I be able to share the photo?
Yeah, that would be helpful. Just for me to imagine
yes.
what it looks like. That would be
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe Ruth, if I can.
Yeah, I'll give
I
you
can?
permission. Let me just do it
Fantastic.
now. There we go. Now
Yeah.
you should have permission.
Okay. There you go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. So I'm trying to open a photo there. So these are actually the teammates of Happiness, and it's as tiny as this. This is what's in their hand. You can see the terminals they are holding on this end. So what they need to do with is just to connect it to, let's go and see where. Okay, so there you go. So these terminals
I'm sorry,
are
David.
inserted onto the soil.
Can you share your because I think you're just sharing one screen,
Yeah.
and if you can share all of them, then we can see the pop out.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit bigger.
I can see your Windows Explorer with plenty of photos there, but not the photo.
Not the photo.
If you close the sharing and then try again with the full.
I try again. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
with everything. So not just one window, but the full.
All right. Okay. So like this.
So you have to press share again, and I think you get the option that says share all.
Where is that section? Okay, I can just maybe pick one photo, and then it will be able to self-explanatory. For example, can you see that photo?
No, I can still see the screen with the Windows Explorer, so all the photos are quite. Well, I get an idea of what it looks like. So it's you stick the probes in the soil, right, and you get all the meter readings on the meter.
Yeah. Okay, so let me share that. Now you see that?
Yes.
Fantastic. So that's the product. It's like a tablet. So it's portable. You can use it. It's efficient. You can. So these are the terminals. So insert all this section and that section into the soil, and then it's be able to give you the attributes that Happiness talks about. So the moisture, the pH, as well as the temperature, and whatever else is necessary. And then there's a dashboard here. You can see the glass section. So this is where you read the meter, the various chemistry components of the particular soil. But then you can also, it also triggers an SMS. So also the farmer can be able to get this kind of data also on their phones. And so one of the motivation for these young girls was in the rural areas, many farmers do not know the soil chemistry. Every year they plant same type of crop, and yet maybe there's nutrient deficiency. So what this device does is that they are able to tell what's lacking in the soil, and either to improve the soil or what kind of crop can be able to be used. But on the other hand is that for any learned farmer to do this kind of test, they have to take the soil sample, maybe in a bottle, and go into a city, and that's traveling expenses, maybe takes like 3 or 4 days before they get this kind of result. And it's also very expensive. So not many of them are able to do this. So what this does is that it's be able to give a bit of control to the rural farmers.
So you provide the training because you mentioned you leave this on the farm, so you provide the training to the farmers, or do you? how does that work?
So there are two components. One is the farmer can be able to buy the device. Of course, they'll be trained on how they can be able to use it. But on the other hand, is that they can pay maybe a small amount of money, and then the girls can be able to go do the test, and then they're able to know the soil chemistry. Because also you won't be needing perhaps the equipment all the time. But one of the things I think they are looking at now also is because from the cost of production, I think Happiness talked about $500 as the potentially the buying price. Not many rural farmers can be able to maybe afford this kind of money. So what they are coming up with is perhaps to approach the cooperatives. So the farmer cooperatives could be able maybe to buy a couple of these kits, and then they have a way in which they can be able to share this also with the farmers. Or the other way also could be in which you pay in installment. So say one farmer, you buy your own one kit and you pay in installment. I think we have similar kind of models, I think, for solar devices, where if you do not pay the installments, then you have a way of switching it off. So that also, I think, is a way in which in future they'll be able to explore.
And has this been tried out in the field, and what's the feedback? Some sort of similar thing for that I asked Sandra. So what's the feedback that you've got from the farmers that have tried this?
Yes, they have done now with 10 farmers. And this is like from where the schools where the girls are located, and also a neighboring districts. And so what you get, the result is out there. I mean, if the pH is 6 or above 7 on the pH scale, you know whether this is acidic soil or alkalic soil, and then you're able to determine what type of nutrient is lacking. So from the feedback that I think they have gotten is that farmers have control. They see this as a control, and that they're able to sort of like determine in terms of it gives them a bit of predictability and a bit of data, and that data is useful for the farming process. Of course, the cost is how low can the price go. I think most of them are like, okay, we made this perhaps is not very affordable to us. But these are, because this is now in the second stage of piloting, so we'll be able to see how we can be able to improve on efficiency, maybe in the technology, and maybe if we can be able to bring that cost lower. Yeah.
Thank you.
I realized I'm muted. Just a follow-up question with this, and either Happiness or David, you can answer. So, I mean, I know Happiness, you were saying about there being a certain size for maybe if it's something like 1 acre, and then if it's 10 acres or something or more, were you about to say that is the size then bigger, or do you just, because I'm thinking generally if you have bigger land, sometimes it varies, right, in terms of humidity and what's going on with the soil. So you need, do you need to have more so people can check the different areas of the land, or just you use one big sensor?
Yes, I think depending on the size of the land, then you have to take many of these tests because one corner, there could be a lot of variation from one corner to the next. And so more or less you take an average sort of like soil characteristics and see, okay, this is, and I think that's standard practice so that you can be able to get an overall picture of what the soil can be able to support. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, David. Gift, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Can I see you? Are you still here? Yes, you are. Okay, so because this is interesting for me, as somebody who works as a creative and in marketing, branding, maybe this is going to be hard for you to think of, but I feel like it would be really interesting to hear maybe a case study from somebody you've worked with. So a case in terms of having to work with a small company that was maybe quite challenging, and how you worked with them in order to help them with their marketing. Is there any particular kind of story that comes to mind who you've worked with over the years? Oh, this gift here.
It looks like he's dropped from the call.
Okay. Yeah, I put him on the spot too much. No, he's just he's just
Did we lose Gift?
No,
think
he's
so.
he's left.
I
think
think
he's
it could
left
be
the
his
call.
network or some connection.
Would you be able, David? Are you in touch with him?
Yes. Yes.
Would you be able to send him a message and I can see if he joins again and let him back in?
Okay.
Thanks. Sorry, you put him on the spot, Ijiro, and he disappeared.
Yeah, that was it. Too deep a question. Just when I needed the info as well.
He's
okay,
here.
so
He's here.
He's back. He's back. Okay.
Yeah, he's disconnecting.
Okay.
So you can. He's
Should
just
have been the
joining.
internet, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Gift, are you here? Are you with us? Connecting to audio.
Okay. Gift?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to my network.
No problem. I thought you were trying to run away from me.
No, I can't.
So I don't know if you heard what I said. Did you hear my question, or did it cut out before?
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Okay, so sorry, it's a bit of a big question, but if you have kind of a small business in mind that you can think of to answer it, that would be great. So it was as somebody who works in kind of brand and marketing and like with creative, and who I've worked with companies and I've worked freelance. So it's always, there are always interesting challenges depending on kind of the product, the character who you're working with, this type of thing. I wondered if there's a kind of a case study that you could take us through briefly of maybe working with somebody in their product or the way of working was particularly challenging, and how you handle that in working with them to get to, you know, where they need to be.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've met some of those challenges for sure, because at some point I've been doing freelancing before, also before I started my own company, but of course also with company. You might find a place, a situation whereby a client has approached you, and he or she wants this kind of a solution or a design or any solution in terms of his or her product, and then when you, for example, introduce, there's two situations whereby at some point the client is interested, whereby even go further and issue a questionnaire or get more meetings, do more meetings with the customer, so that you can get to know what exactly he or she wants. But at some point, when it reaches the point of when you're issuing a budget, he or she runs away. Yeah. But of course, there's another situation whereby you, and that is before I used to start working on a client's project and everything without asking for example, commitment fee. So it happened that I had done, say, the whole project or about 80% of the project, and then the clients disappear. Doesn't pick your call. There's no communication at all, and then you find that you have wasted your time and all the resources to do that work to that client. But of course, with those situational problems that I experienced before, I was able to come up with a strategy whereby I have to, before I do anything or before I start the project, I have to give an invoice so that that client can do a deposit or a commitment fee of about 50% before I start the work. Then after that is when now I can start the work of that client after he or she make the payment. So that is one of the challenges that those are some of the common challenges that I've been facing in terms of clients going away with the project without paying, or reaching a point whereby clients you've been keeping in touch and all the communication then disappears because you have issued that budget. As for some reason, maybe he didn't know or she didn't know that product may cost that amount of money, or because he or she has not done before. So sometimes it's been a challenge, but of course on the pricing also, we have come up with 3 tiers. For example, we have these 3 tiers whereby if you approach a client with the options, that client may not run away. But if you approach a client with one, for example, pricing, that client might run away because there's no any negotiation between with that budget. So that is one of the things that one of the approaches that I've been using, coming up with the 3-tier pricing, whereby when I approach a client or when a client comes to me, I have to give that 3-tier pricing so that I can explain to him or her based on each tier, and then it's easy for the client to choose. Yeah, but of course, for the other one, I said I had to introduce a commitment fee before I do or I start any project from any client. I don't know if I've answered the question as you wanted, or
no. I mean, no, you have. That's a very big challenge. So yeah, it's interesting that you've come up with this way, which is also a way of kind of you marketing by having this 3 tiers. So it gets people choosing something. It's a really interesting method. Another question for you. When I think, I don't know if you have a partner with your agency. It's you and you have a partner who started the agency.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you talked about things, you talk about a lot of work. So I mean, you're talking about website building, helping people with branding, also photography, videography. Are you both doing all of this work, or do you hire freelancers to help you out with all of that?
Okay. Let me separate there's 2 things that I have 2 companies as per se. I have one that is a creative agency, and also I have that one is focusing purely on software development and like SaaS products.
Okay.
So the first one was the creative agency, which was called Regime Designs. So that one I had started with my colleague. Then at some point we found that we don't have that capacity to continue with for example, website development and all that. And that was my interest, but my teammate was not interested in more of software development or website development. So he decided to venture more into photography and video coverage. Yeah. So that was one of the challenges that I faced as a team, as a company, because of the team. There was no fully teamwork in between us. So the other colleague was having more passion in photography, and I was having more passion in software development. That's why I started another new company called TechSkill. And if I talk about the TechSkill now, right now I have employed 3 guys that I'm working with. So I have the UX, I have a front end, and also I have another guy who's also doing a backend. So, and for that reason, we have also worked with we are currently working with another organization which is going to put a town in Taita Taveta. So it's a huge project, and we are the guys who are working for them in terms of coming up with those solutions. And as you know, if somebody is building a town, that town needs a lot of solution, cutting from security services in terms of also banking. So right now, for example, we are working on the banking software for that company, for that organization, because they would like also to have a bank in that town. We are also working on other softwares like human resource and other services. Also, we are offering website services also to outside clients, but our major focus is more on the SaaS products, because we don't work to work forever, but we want our product to work for us. Yeah. So what we call passive income, whereby like we have our products, come up with solution. For example, SaaS products on banking, SaaS product human resource, SaaS product on different solutions. Then we put our products outside there, market them, and then people can sign up. We are not selling the package as the whole package. You're not selling the source code, but we are creating a dashboard where some of the clients can create dashboard and get services from there. So that we can charge them with a subscription fee, maybe monthly or a yearly subscription fee. So yeah, that's what I can say we are doing right now. I'm more focused on software development than more on the photography. As my colleague is more focused on the photography, but we always keep in touch because we are still one company. But for now, I'm more focused on creating SaaS products and coming up with the solutions for different clients.
Okay. Yeah. And so I'm realizing we have. Oh, did somebody want to say something there? Sorry.
Sorry, I had a couple of follow-up questions, if that's okay.
So we're going to go to a question section actually in 3 minutes. So if you hold on, remember, I just have one last thing that I'd like to ask all three of you. So just in brief, you all obviously are working with Sote Hub. I wondered if you could give kind of a little summary of your journey with working with them. So where you started before you started working with Sote Hub, and how they helped you to get your product to where it is now. So what you arrived with, how they implemented kind of resources to help you, and yeah, what the kind of future outlook is. And I will start with Sandra again. So what did you, in your project with the sensors, sorry, for the sensors for the elephants, when you first started with Sote Hub, what state was it in, and how did they help you get to where it is now?
So when I started with Sote Hub, actually I wasn't an entrepreneur. So through the mentoring sessions, the coaching sessions, they used to come to our school to talk to us from time to time. So they used to initiate us into different competitions for young entrepreneurs, whereby our journey with them started from Diamond Challenge, where we happened to win and went to the US to represent Kenya. So our journey with Sote Hub has been good. Let me say it has been very good, because till now I'm still working with Sote Hub. The expertise are from Sote Hub. The partnerships that we have now are still from Sote Hub, and the skills that we keep on building and adding on daily basis still do come from Sote Hub. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Happiness. So where were you when you started, and how did they help you grow what you're currently doing?
So they started helping our team when I was in high school, but I'm still in high school, Form 1 in 2017. They helped us by giving us platform to showcase our project. We participated they helped us to participate in many competitions like UNDP, we won money, and Diamond Challenge to present Kenya this year, but we didn't go because of coronavirus. And they help us in registering our company too, and helping us getting some people to help us in making the kit, the technical part. They are so helpful. They help children, they help students. They are a platform for us. So we're very happy.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, Gift.
Okay. I think I'm the oldest here because some of them have been training them, going around the school training them. Okay, so for me, also I started when I was in high school in 2012. By that time, also the project Sote ICT was also in our school, secondary school. So what they introduced to us was they introduced us entrepreneurial skills, whereby we set up practice companies and train ourselves how to come up with a company, setting up departments and all that. But of course, also some IT skills. And then that's where I started my ICT or IT journey. So after high school, that is 2014, I also managed to be employed by Sote Hub at some point. So immediately I finished my Form 4, Sote Hub employed me so that I can help them train other students in terms of basic ICT skills and also entrepreneurial skills, how to come up with the company, how to do marketing, how to deal with customer, how to get feedback in terms of product that we have come up with. So after that, that is 2014. So I worked with Sote Hub for 3 years until 2017. And so now I had already come up with my first company, that is Rogim, with me and my colleague and I. So at some point I had to exit because I felt like also I should have more time working on my company. But during my time at Sote Hub, there was a lot of trainings that I acquired from Sote Hub, more on finance, how to come up with a budget, how to come up with a marketing strategy and all that. But of course, introduce us in the legal, legal side, also registering our companies, and also more exposure in terms of meeting and networking different people from different companies around Kenya, but also exposure of also going outside even the country and meeting different companies, also different people from different hubs in, for example, Europe, that is Slovak. So there's a lot of opportunity that Sote Hub gave me personally, and I cannot express all of them if I can say that because it will take a lot of time. But what I can say, the major thing is they exposed us in terms of growing our business, in terms of giving us more trainings from all, cutting across from finance, marketing, also learning more on software development. For instance, I'm a self-taught developer. I didn't go to any school to be taught on how to come up to develop. So I just learned alone, but through the guidance from Sote Hub. And of course, it's a platform whereby we meet as young people, young entrepreneurs with the same visions. So we may find somebody else is doing development or is doing programming. So we interlink with each other, and that's how I grew up to the point now I am, where I'm making also business with other companies there.
Okay, wow, amazing. Okay, so I'm going to go over to make sure everyone can ask their questions. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much. Congratulations as well, exactly like Rohit said. I think they're all fantastic projects and fantastic businesses. And yeah, I look forward to keeping an eye on what's going on and seeing how they grow kind of in the future. And also David is going to be my tour guide in Kenya, he promised. So I look forward to that as well. So I'm going to go over to questions now from anyone who's on the call. Rohit, I think you had questions, and if you don't want to ask them out loud, feel free to put them in the chat and I will ask them.
Yeah, so my questions are for Gift. So you mentioned SaaS, which is quite interesting. I just wanted to know what sort of technologies you were using, and also when I was in a startup in Sierra Leone, the problem we faced quite often with SaaS products was the internet connection. So I wonder where you are, if you are facing similar challenges, and what you are doing to overcome them, or if anything.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. If I ask this last question in terms of internet connection, of course, it's a rural area, but of course, through the Sote Hub, of course, I normally go there to get internet because they have internet from there. But of course, also the country is developing very fast in terms of technology. So there are so many other services where I can get internet at a cheaper cost. Yeah, but the first question I can say is the technology that I'm using right now more is I'm using PHP, but of course I'm using also front end with the Tailwind UI, Tailwind UI. So and Laravel to come up with with also the front end and also working the back end. So the most technology that I'm using is PHP, HTML, of course, Laravel framework, and also Tailwind to come up with these softwares. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And are you using PHP to also develop like the HR solutions? You mentioned you were also developing some HR solutions, and so is that you're developing all that in PHP?
Yes, I'm developing the HR and also the banking system with the PHP, but of course with Laravel, that is, and a little bit of Alpine JS, so that.
And the banking system, then is that the finance sector then you're touching with as well? That or is that because that's like dealing with banks
Yes.
always brings a lot of overheads sometimes.
Yes, yeah, that is actually it's my first project in finance, and but I'm glad that I also have my colleague that we're working together. So it's our first product. I mean that we are going to launch in finance, but it's a challenge because it's something that we have never done before, because it needs a lot of calculation in terms of finance. So we need to get everything well. But I'm very glad because we have managed to also done the first version of it, and we have already like gotten a client who is ready to start working with it.
Thank you.
Yes, but of course there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, I'm looking forward to get more partnership with anybody. So I'll be glad if we can also exchange some contact at the end and see how we can work together.
Sure. Thank you. Share.
Okay. Thank you, Gift. Does anybody have any other questions?
Hi. So I've just been listening in. I personally have trained in CodeUp with Ruth over there at CodeUp Barcelona as a full stack developer. So I wanted this thing to meet all of you. And Gift is saying that he's the oldest. I'm probably the oldest, really. And it's interesting to see that. It's interesting to see that Sote Hub started in high school. I don't think I had that when I was in high school, but I finished in 2013. I didn't. I've heard about Sote Hub because I think they want to partner with, if I'm not wrong, with CodeUp to open a branch in Kenya. So I wanted to come into this call and find out more about the kind of projects that are there, and I'm actually really impressed because actually I'm also Kenyan for the rest who don't know. So I'm really impressed, and I also wanted to ask whether this project for the one for the what is it, using humidity, the one with Happiness and Sandra, am I right? So I wanted to ask whether the technology are using like PLC. Yeah, is it like are using project logic controllers to measure all these things, or what exactly are using? Because I think that PLCs would work better. I don't know, I'm not very sure. Like PLCs are what you use to connect to your devices, the one that measures the whatever from the soil. Is that it?
I guess
Sorry, I didn't get you. I have trouble.
Okay, but I can answer on your behalf, Happiness.
Yeah.
So what the two have done is for the technology part, they outsource from team members also within Sote Hub. But there's a deliberate decision. I think Sandra joined Akira Chicks.
Yes.
And in every startup where there is no techie somehow, they usually decide that one of them must learn on programming and coding and be able, and as well as on hardwares and IoT, and that person can be like the technological lead. However, you will find that they still have still to outsource from within. The advantage again is that we have a large community and people like Gift who have been with us through the project and self-taught on some of these skills, and they're able to come back and inspire and help the rest. So for example, Sandra and Happiness are still in very early stage, and Ejiro, if you interview them again in 1 year's time, they'll speak with some
Okay, then I will.
with lots of traction, and yes, and Ashley, I think we'll be really glad to work with you. Yes, it's true. We really looking forward to starting something with our colleagues, in the CODOP. And of course, there are all these gaps in terms of expertise and technology. And this will be something that we'll be glad to work with you, even in terms of mentorship to not only to Sandra and Happiness. We have maybe around 15 others, all in different sectors, in different technologies and business ideas. Yeah.
Wonderful. A question for you, David. Are you also like part of Sote Hub?
Yes. I'm the co-founder of Sote Hub. One of my colleagues, of course, is in Slovakia. Yes, but I'm part of the Sote Hub, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, then just to speak for myself, I'd love to connect.
Yeah, so let's exchange contacts. Maybe I put mine here. David and Sote. Yeah, there you go.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Shanice. Anybody have any other questions for anyone?
I guess I will ask another one then.
Okay.
I mean, this is slightly outside the remit, so I don't know if it falls in the scope, but as part of your work, you have some full stack developers? Because I was wondering if that could be something I could ask you as well. If I'm needing a part-time full stack developer or Android developer, is that something that falls into your remit? But I don't know if this is a platform to discuss that, or we could take this outside this forum.
This was a question for David. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, definitely. That's we'll be glad. Right now, we're also running 21st Century Skills, which is a cooperation with Liquid Telecom. It's one of the largest internet companies in the country. But what we lack is that we have, for example, we had 100 students who, and actually this was the motivation was COVID, with the students, with people at home, they are not in school. And so we were looking for a platform where we can be able to reach them on different trainings. And so there's IoT, there's cybersecurity, there's data science and cloud computing. But now what we lack is that sometimes we lack like mentors or people with knowledge in some of these sectors. And so if you come across anyone with this kind of skills, definitely, yeah.
Thank you, David. And as you can see, David has shared his email generously, with everybody. So feel free to take a note of that, and then I'm sure he's happy to answer any questions And like I said before as well, we can share some of the, I'll speak to David, but we can see what is available and we can share with you guys on the call some more information about the projects and about Sote Hub actually as well. Any more questions?
Somebody has just joined the call right now. For the person that has just joined, we are actually just finishing the session, but we're recording this session so we can share it with everybody afterwards. And like Adiro said, if you want to share contact details, I'm happy to be the middle person as well between CodeUp, the attendees tonight, and Sote Hub to share any details.
Okay, so thank you for that, Ruth. Last opportunity for anyone to ask any outstanding questions.
So maybe I can ask Rohit.
Okay, yeah, it goes both ways, of course.
We became friends, yeah. So Rohit, where are you based, and what kind of projects are you working on? Or
yeah, so I'm currently in Barcelona, and I'm working for Doctors Without Borders, Médicos Sin Fronteras, and I'm also developing. So I've got 2 mobile apps. One is being trialed in Ghana for cashew farmers. So it does very simple calculations of for cashew valuations, and it's being used currently by GIZ. And I have another app which we can take a photo of I've trained, it's like an AI, artificial intelligence based app where you take a photo of either a cassava leaf or a passion fruit leaf, and it can tell you if the plant is infected or not, and then you need a smartphone for that, and it can work offline. And so it's just to help the farmers, instead of keep growing a crop, if they can detect it early on that it's not going to be as productive, then they could perhaps try to speak to the experts and try to get it fixed, or destroy the crop and plant something else. So yeah.
Wow. And talking about cashew, we also consulting. Sote is consulting for an EU-funded cashew nut project at the Kenyan coast. I think the numbers reaching 15,000 farmers, distributing 1 million seedlings. So it's very interesting in terms of this solution that does it measure the yield of the cashew?
No, not at all. So at the moment, it's a very simple app where you have to enter the different. So when you're harvesting cashew, you have to classify them in terms of good or bad kernels, and then you essentially take the 4 weights when you harvest it, and then it does a TDR and a kernel outturn ratio and total defect rate calculation, and you can log in. I'm currently working on, it's one of the reasons I need an Android developer I want to be able to log into this app, and then you post your data, and then it can be projected onto a map that can be viewed from a dashboard. So you can say, okay, this region is having this sort of yield, that region is having that sort of yield, and it sort of helps with, from the feedback I've received, it sort of helps with monitoring.
Yeah, I think
so.
Yeah. I think that's useful because for the current project, we have like 30 field officers, and they're also buying officers. And when they go to the farmers, they have to sometimes what they do is that they put the kernels in water, and the ones that float are the good ones. And so, so that's really not a good method. And so I think these are quite, so I'll really be interested to connect again with you. So, and see if that is something you can apply in the current project as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go on.
No, even the work that Happiness is doing with the sensors, I think there is opportunity to perhaps look into something that could, maybe not. We can have a discussion later on and see where the alignments are and what the roadmap is and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Ruth and Ejiro, for fantastic platform.
No, thank you. And I'm going to hold you, or all of you, and now you've shared all the information to that interview in a year's time to see what's going on and how everyone's progressed and moved forward. And also the other thing is, because I don't know, I mean, I read about this and I know that, is it Sandra or Happiness? Somebody was supposed to go to the US this year for the awards. I don't know which one.
That's Happiness.
Okay. So yeah, how very annoying. But I hope at some point that manages to happen. And I'm sure that you're working on so much stuff that there's going to be a lot more of that stuff happening in future in terms of competition. So I'm sorry about that, but hopefully the outlook going forward is good. Thank you all, David, Happiness, Sandra, Gift, for sharing what you're doing at Sote Hub and your amazing projects with us. Please, I hope we all get to stay in touch. Thank you everyone who joined the call. And like Ruth said, she's happy to be the person in the middle for any other follow-ups or any questions that you might have. And with that, then I will say good night to everybody, especially you guys in Kenya because it's late. And yeah, have a good evening, everybody.
Thanks
Thank you
very much,
very much.
everyone.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.